Hello, friends and fam. Once again, this is Jonas, your OG nurse from the Nurse's Bunker and Mind Over Matter. And today, I would like to present this vital and insightful overview of the state of caregiving in the United States as of 2020. This was a report generated by the National Alliance for Caregiving and AARP. So this is a three-year-old report, and as of today, this is the latest that I could get data from. And this sheds light on the significant role of caregivers, the challenges they face, and the evolving dynamics in this critical area of healthcare and social support. Now, before we begin, if you find value in our channel, please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and then click that notification bell. We aim to bring you helpful videos once a week for now, while we are streamlining our work and editing process, so please hang tight. We have started this channel to shine a light to our family givers. Then we did not realize that we ourselves are family caregiver, being parents to kids with ADHD and children to elderly parents ourselves. Going back to the report, this is a 107-page report, and I would be remiss not to warn you that a 10-minute presentation is going to thoroughly cover this report. And as such, we will only try to cover the highlights as much as we can. We begin by addressing a striking reality about the prevalence of caregiving in the United States. This has seen a marked increase over the past 5 years from 2015 to 2020. As of 2020, over 21% of Americans find themselves in caregiving roles, and this equates to about 53 million adults engaged in unpaid caregiving activities, showcasing the expanding need for care across the nation. We also need to highlight before everything else that the needs in caregiving is still evolving. It has evolved, and it's going to get more complex over the years. So the demands placed on our caregivers have intensified, with care recipients presenting more complex health and functional needs more than ever before. These evolving challenges include the increasing prevalence of long-term physical conditions, mental health issues, and memory-related disorders such as Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. Now, if our number of family caregivers has grown and the complexity of their health needs has grown, well, so did the various obstacles faced by caregivers, from coordinating care across fragmented systems to the lack of accessible and affordable support services. Highlighting that these areas are where caregivers are seeking more support. We will also touch on how caregiving affects the personal lives of those who provide care, examining their physical, emotional, and financial strains as we experience these ourselves, and the need for better support systems to ensure the well-being of caregivers themselves. This is something that we will work on and present in the future. So that's a work in progress. So as I said earlier, 21.3% are now considered family caregivers in the US population, and that's an increase in the amount from less than 1 in 5 to more than 1 in 5 in 5 years, from 2015 to 2020. So from 43.5 to 53 million. That's a lot. Imagine you're attending a meeting. There's 10 of you. Most likely 2 of you are family caregivers. The report also highlighted that the caregiving for adults has increased from 16.6% to 19.2% in 2020, driven mainly by care for those aged 50 or older. We know about the boomers. A lot of them are retiring pretty soon or have already retired. A lot of them have health issues. A lot of them would require caregiving. So also the caregiver profile may have changed over the years, but it did not give us any specific typical profile. And this is a fact that has been known for a long time. Caregiving is a family-centric issue. The majority of caregivers, or 89%, care for a relative, parents or in-laws, 50%. Oh, guys, be good to your in-laws. You'll never know. You might be requiring caregiving down the road. These are followed by spouses, partners, grandparents, or adult children. There's also, as I mentioned earlier, increased health needs because of more complex health and functional needs compared to when the report was released in 2015. I already mentioned about the long-term physical conditions and other issues, but the lack of support services has become a challenge for a lot of us, especially those that are located in rural areas. Many caregivers lack adequate and affordable services, and supports and coordination of care across various providers is challenging. And affordable services in the care recipient areas are often difficult to access. And duration and intensity of care. Now, caregivers on average provide about 24 hours of care per week, engaging in ADLs or activities of daily living and medical/nursing tasks. The intensity of caregiving remains high. Now, this is one of the issues that was highlighted, and I think this is very, very important. Those who are considered child givers. Back in 2015, there were about 1.4 or 1.7 million who are classified as child caregivers, and that has since ballooned to 3.4 million as of 2020. That's a lot, and that's a burden that should not be put on kids, but that is something that has grown over time too. So this highlighted the impact of caregiving to the entire family or community. Health and financial impact on caregivers. Raise your hand if you have gone through health and well-being issues while caring for somebody else. Again, raise your hand if you have had financial strain while caregiving. Again, raise your hand if it has affected your work in one way or another because of your caregiving duties. I know of a couple of people at work who has to take time off because there's nobody to watch their family members. So what are the needs that were identified in the report? So one is training and support. So caregivers have expressed a need for services like respite care, help in keeping their care recipients safe, managing their stress, and navigating forms and eligibility for services. The last one is particularly hard because of bureaucracy. Second one is technology utilization. About half of the caregivers use technology, such as software for tracking finances and health. However, only 60% go online for caregiving support. That means there's still 40% of us out there that are groping in the dark, trying to keep afloat on their own. There's also the lack of future planning. Many caregivers have not prepared for their or their care recipients' future needs, with less than half having plans in place for handling financial matters, healthcare decisions, or living arrangements. So that's a mouthful. The growing prevalence of caregiving and the aging of the U.S. population increase the demands on caregivers. This affects their time, their financial well-being, their health, their own families, work, and their own personal well-being. The sustainability of the current caregiving model with unpaid, with English is hard. I am ESL person. You should know that by now. With unpaid caregivers such as a core component of health and long-term systems. This poses a significant challenge for all of us. So, the overall impact and sustainability of our caregivers is that since we face significant pressures on our time, our financial well-being, our own health, and our personal well-being, we need to adapt, we need to work on ourselves, get ourselves equipped, get ourselves trained, get your support systems in place. This is particularly challenging for us that have little to no family members around. Again, reach out. Friends, church, whatever you have that can support you as a family caregiver. It's a challenge. It can be surmounted. In the end, we'll reflect on the broader implications of these findings for the future of caregiving in the U.S. As our population continues to age, the need for a sustainable, supportive, and inclusive caregiving system becomes increasingly clear. We hope there will be paths forward to support both caregivers and care recipients more effectively. So, that is our report for today. If you are a family caregiver contemplating to be one or expecting to be one, you might glean some insights into our journey. We will produce simple videos to share our journey. Who knows? This may help you care for a loved one. We are committed to try and help others who care for others. We believe that family caregivers deserve our support, and we are here to help them in any way that we can. If you are a family caregiver, please reach out to someone today. If you have any topic or idea you would like us to explore, post it in the comments below. And whatever you are going through right now, chances are somebody's been there. Chances are they will be able to give insights that you, given your circumstance, might be too short-sighted to see. So give this a like, hit that subscribe and notification button, and help others find our videos who you think might benefit from this. Thank you for your time. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.